Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's video. This week I'm going to be making a black walnut and resin river serving tray or wall art. So stick around and let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you've made one, or if you want to make one, or if you've learned anything from watching this. I'd really appreciate it. So here you see me removing some of the bark. I chiseled off some of it, and now I'm scraping with the chisel to clean up the edges. A little bit of sanding to get it flat. I don't have a jointer, so this is the best I can do. And it works pretty well. Making some measurements here to figure out where to cut it in half. And here using the bandsaw to do that. And here you see me making the mold, or using some caulk to seal the edges of the mold. I made the mold off camera. I'm not the best at making molds. I'm working on it, but there are a lot of videos out there of great resources to make molds. Using some stone coat countertop epoxy for this one. So using the measurements on the side of the container to measure out the volume that I need. And some green black diamond green sparkle type pigment. I'll be adding another pigment besides this. This kind doesn't tint the epoxy necessarily. This is some black diamond green iridescent that I'm adding in with the sparkle black diamond. And then get ready for the resin pour. So although this piece is small, I still have to, clamp the boards down so they don't float. So I use some tuck tape and some Irwin clamps for that. And this is the first pour. This is the second one here. I mixed in some darker green. I wasn't quite happy with the color, so here you see me mixing it in. And I'm going to be using a heat gun to pop some of the bubbles, or as many as possible. The next day, or a couple days later, I am removing it from the mold with the mallet. And here I'm using some pencil marks to mark it up before starting the process of sanding. So on this piece I sanded from 80 to 400 grit for the wood, and the resin part I kept sanding. I went from 400 to 600 to 800 to 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, and 2,000. And after some sanding, using some denatured alcohol to remove dust and any particles that may have landed on the piece, as well as to raise the grain before one final sanding. So here I am using a handheld router and a chamfer bit to chamfer all of the edges. And the chamfer will be on the bottom side when it's in use. And this really just takes some weight off of it, visually speaking anyway, and makes it a little more appealing to the eye in my opinion. On these, I really prefer a chamfer bit over a round over bit. I think it gives it more character. And some hand sanding on the chamfered areas. You'd think for a piece this small that it would be, it would go faster than, say, making a bowl or a platter. But it really doesn't. This one took me quite a while. I actually started it last year and I stopped because I was frustrated because the color wasn't exactly what I had wanted it to be, but eventually finishing it here. Here I'm using some Starbond thin CA glue and some activator to fill in some very, very minor holes in the resin or little divots. And here using a sander to sand those flat. And again, some denatured alcohol to clean the surface. And going to be using Odie's oil here to finish the serving tray slash wall art. Slash whatever you want it to be. This is the first time I've used Odie's oil, so I was excited to try it, and I ended up really, really liking it. If you know anything about finishes, you know that Odie's oil isn't necessarily cheap, but after using it, I know why. It's a very, very high-end product. I'm not sponsored or didn't get anything free from them. I was just really impressed with the product. Hey guys, you know that bet I mentioned to you in my last video about having a bet with someone about subscribers and views? So in the last video, I won the bet about the number of likes the video could get, which was at least 2,000. And as of right now, there's around 2,100. So thank you so much for liking the video. If you could like this video too, that would be amazing. Haven't quite won the bet on the number of subscribers. The goal is by the end of May to get 15,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. I'd really, really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like button. And if you already have subscribed, please consider sharing this video on your social media. That would be extremely helpful too. And as always, I'm going to have some photos here at the end. And let me know what you think in the comments. I would really like to know what you guys think of this, if you would use it for wall art or a serving tray. There are some pictures at the end of both of those things for this. So let me know what you think, and until next week, peace out.